social media has become such a big part of society these days, but there are some dangers that people don't know about. Talk to us a little bit about those dangers when it comes to checking in and friending people.
Make sure the people you're friending you actually know, because because you're telling the truth while you're on Facebook and typing the true things out, that may be a fake profile, could be a sex offender, someone you friended that you barely know. It allows people you don't know to basically track when you're checking in. Well, I'm at the movies or I'm at the mall. Well, they know you're not home. If they happen to be a burglar, they know they can go home because you're not there. Or if they wanted to find out where you're at, just check your Facebook status when you're checking in that often where your location is.
Do you think social media has made things easier for burglars or sex offenders if they really want to go after people this way?
They can set up profiles. You don't see them. They don't have to. It's safer for them to make approach on people, trying to get them friends with them, getting them used to talking to them, lure them into a false sense of security, and then they can make an approach or try to set up a meeting with them. So yeah, it does lure them in, because he's been a friend of mine on Facebook for a year. He never caused any problem. Well, they've never met him in person.
And is there any special training that they make you go through now, or different officers with your white collar crimes? Because I know there's a whole unit for that.
Well, those get handled based on what kind of offense they have. They may have been threatening each other online back and forth, so they may go to our persons people for an assault or harassment or a stalking case. If they're bullying, some of those cases would go to them too. White collar crimes would get our property detectives would work any burglaries or stuff that is put out. So it goes based on what crime they commit.
And have you seen maybe an increase in these types of sites becoming more evidence in these kinds of crimes?
Yeah, we use them to gain evidence. If they're threatening each other or said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to this person's house," that's evidence in court if we need it. If there is an assault that's happened, and them saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go pick up so and so," so it puts them on. We know exactly where they were at the times that they're talking.
And now that people check in, do you see an increase in maybe home burglaries or stalking?
I don't know that we can put home burglaries, but it allows them, if they wanted to break in. I'm not saying that they're burglars sitting out there looking, but if you say, "Hey, I'm going to the movies," they know you're going to be gone for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And if they know who you are and they happen to be a bar or someone that friend of a friend or a friend that can still check your profile, they could go to your house.
And what worries do you have maybe for adolescents? Because I know we're talking more adolescents are getting on Facebook, checking in at school when it comes to sex offenders in the area.
They're giving out too much personal information. They're telling them where they're going to be on Friday nights, where they're going to be during the weekend, or if they're going to be gone for the weekend. The sex offender's not using his true profile. He may have a picture of another teenage boy that he's pulled out of a yearbook somewhere to post as his profile. So there's nothing to say that who you're talking to is actually who it is.
Yeah. And now that any picture you post, any location you post you're at, or even pictures that post a location, do you think all this new checking in is creating even a wider span of danger?
Well, some of the new smartphones, your pictures are what they call geotagged. It puts a geographic coordination on that digital picture, so they can find out exactly where you were when you took that picture.
And do you think that is a cause for concern? Maybe parents should be concerned, people in general.
Parents should be concerned on how much time they're spending on Facebook. The kids shouldn't have a Facebook page that the parents aren't monitoring, because a lot of things go on Facebook that you may not be aware of, and then all of a sudden the police are involved in it and say, "Well, I didn't know that was going on." If they'd have read their Facebook page, they'd have known some of the things were happening. They were having trouble. Mm-hmm. We see that with teenagers posting about how sad or depressed they are, stuff like that, or even couples that are breaking up. So you can find out how people's feeling, where they're vulnerable at, by reading their post.
And I guess in the instance of stalking, have you guys had any recent cases or
Not that I'm aware of that's tied just to Facebook. I don't want to misquote and say we have.
Okay.
I can't tell you we have. Or
No, that's okay. That's okay. You know, are any special advice maybe for users of Facebook or Foursquare who, you know, all you do is check in where you're at and.
Is that Foursquare? That's
Yeah.
new one to me. I hadn't heard. Don't give up personal information, because a lot of times they may just know your name, but then, well, I'm having a birthday today. Well, now they know when your date of birth is. That allows them to do identity theft if they want to, because they're gaining stuff little by little. So keep your information as private as possible if you're going to use them. You don't have to update everywhere you're going, and know who your friends are. Most people, their close friends are about 10 to 12. You shouldn't have 500 friends on Facebook, because you don't know exactly who they all are.
Yeah, and I know these days, you know, you meet someone in a location, you don't give out your number anymore, you give out your Facebook. Do you think that makes things more dangerous? Because like you said, you put out where I work, where I live, what town I live in.
Yeah, and they can go back and check the past information on it, read back on your post, and check your profile. And they'll see when you have a boyfriend, when you don't, because people go in there and change their status. Well, I'm married, now I'm divorced. So they can find a lot of information, and there's people that go out just looking for that information.
Do you guys have any education programs for maybe the youngsters? Because I know
We do internet safety classes. Here's two of the brochures that we actually put out. There's internet safety for children and parents, and then one just for teenagers that we hand out at different events. We'll come out and speak to different groups if they want us to talk to them about the internet, some of the dangers on the internet, with surfing the web plus the chat rooms.
Do you think that's something that, you know, we need to start at an earlier age, since everyone is on these social networks?
The kids are very, very tech savvy compared to their parents. I think parents should be real cautious of how young they allow their kids to have a social page, because they don't need them in elementary school. There's no reason for them to have a social page at that age. I just think it's too dangerous for them.
And do you think maybe the victims, you know, they can make, or people in general can make themselves vulnerable to become a victim with as much information?
Yeah, they're giving out information people wouldn't necessarily know, but you're putting it out there for free. People are going to pick it up.
Good. And if anyone suspects, you know, an instance like this, you know, should they call police immediately?
Yeah, if they think someone's stalking them or someone's picked up information, or they could get identity theft, one thing that they can also pick up is the name of your kids. You post out an ad. So if they did want to approach your kid at school, they'd know what to call the kid, because they know what he looks like, because you posted a picture and you put their name out there. I'm not saying we're having it, but you could have that if someone wanted to approach. They can say, they can call them by name.
Good. Anything else you'd like to add?
I can't think of it.
You want to maybe say, like maybe some like to parents out there, you know, kind of like that, you know, if their kids are checking in places, like what could that possibly lead to? Do you think? I mean, as far as from like a, you know.
Well, there's just several tips. Screen their conversations, read their Facebook stuff. You will find out if they're having trouble with anybody at school, because bullying used to stop when you went home because you was away from them. Now those kids will get bullied at school. Then when they get home, they get on Facebook. They're still getting bullied, and it's kind of a gang mentality that they can't get away from. So if you're screening that, you can stop some of that. Limit how much they're sending and posting on the internet. Decide how long your child stays online, and let them know what areas is off limits to be at for online and Facebook. What's off limits to post. Don't post pictures of your young kids. You can tell them, hey, don't put out all your pictures and stuff.
No.
Because people will send out pictures that once they're out there, they're never going to get them back.
Yeah.
And then they can edit it and put parental controls on it to make it more secure, that the kids can't go certain places.
Do you think parents and even like people in general need to be more aware of the safety controls of these sites? Like, they change daily.
Yeah, they need to. Every site has some kind of parental control usually, or you can get parental control software for your computer that allow you. But just being involved in what your kids are doing online, you're going to their sport games. You might as well get online and see what they're doing. Hey, an informed parent is a lot better than someone that, well, I didn't know they had that boyfriend over here or a friend that was picking on them at school.
Yeah, good. I think I'm good.
Well, just concerning like older, like say girls her age,
Yeah.
who are more inclined to give out, Facebook information, thinking it's safer than giving out their phone number. What would you say to that? Because I mean, it actually is. You're giving out way more.
You're giving out way more information with a Facebook deal than a phone number, because they got to actually call you and talk to you on the phone. You'll get the voice inflection. You can get some intent that you can hear that you're not going to get when they're typing. You lose all that, the personal connection of the voice inflections and stuff like that. So it'd be better to give them a phone number, because they don't know where you're at when they call you. Yeah, Facebook, they can track you pretty much where you're going, especially if you post a lot.
Yeah, and do you think that's why people should know maybe the settings and how to, monitor your settings, who you can see what, and things like
Or
that?
just be more careful about who you friend.
Who you friend, and giving out that information. I think the kids nowadays, they don't like talking directly to people. They'd rather text them or type on a computer. So they're not learning how to deal with people one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're taking their guard down prematurely on something.
Good. I think that should be it. That was it.
I mean, they don't usually check me in and people get mad at me about it. It's just when we're out to dinner or going to a movie or something. It's nothing really like big, like the Las Vegas commercials or anything.
How do you feel though are you concerned ever with your safety that they're checking you in all these places without like your permission, I guess?
No, most of the time they tell me. I mean, I think my friends are pretty good about it, so.
And have you ever thought about maybe the safety concern when it comes to checking in?
It hasn't really crossed my mind.
It hasn't?
No.
So why don't you check in places?
I'm not really on Facebook much.
Okay.
I kind of just worry about school.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, not really.
Thank you.
Who was that, Audrey?
Shelby Mitchell. Last name for me?
Nikki Vu.
Nikki Vu, and it's just VU?
Yes.
And it's N-I-K-I?
N-I-C-K-Y.
C-K-Y? Okay. So Nikki, do you check in on Foursquare or Facebook?
I go on Facebook.
You do? And why do you check in?
I just go on and like check what's going on, see if there's anything happening with my friends and family, and whenever I'm bored or have a game that I need to hook up with my Facebook.
And why do you like to check in though at the places you go to? Like, what's the draw to it?
I don't know. I guess like teenage cliques and stuff, and it's just like there's like a feeling that you have to go there because it's like, I guess, a teenage thing in our minds.
So it's just because it's just another function to Facebook, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And, do you ever have any concern about safety when it comes to checking in?
Yeah, because sometimes when I go in and log in and like I misspell like one letter on my password, it's like, oh hey, you've tried logging in like 50 times. It's not you. So I like change my password every few months or so to make sure that no one's hacking into my account.
Oh, okay. Well, when it comes to checking in places, does that concern you at all? Like if someone could, follow you from place to place?
Yeah, that concerns me a lot. That's why I don't try to connect it too much to where I am, and I don't go on too much to be like, oh, having lunch now, or like I don't do that. I just go, okay, I'm tired, I'm going to bed, bye.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, who's next? You want to go next?
Sure.
Okay. What's your first and last name?
Jamie Whittington,
And spell Whittington.
Whittington.
And Jamie?
Yes.
Okay. So Jamie, do you check in places you go on Facebook or Foursquare?
Only if I'm going out of town, really.
Out of town?
Yeah.
And why is that? What's the draw to checking in?
Because most of my family lives out of town, so if they know I'm coming, we can meet up, or old friends.
And have you ever thought about it as maybe a safety concern?
Well, I have like my profile on private, and nobody can really view it, so it's not a huge deal to me, and I only accept people I know in real life.
Good. And are you on Foursquare though?
No.
You're not? Okay. It is changed. Okay. You want to go?
I guess.
Okay. I like your...
Yeah.
Okay, first and last name for me.
Robert Coberly.
And spell Coberly for me?
Coberly.
Okay. And so, Robert, do you check in on Facebook or Foursquare?
Yes, I do.
And, you know, what's the draw for you to checking in?
I don't let my friends know where I'm at, I guess.
And, you know, do you ever have any safety concerns when it comes to checking in?
No, I put on my profile that I'm over 18, and plus I have it on friends only, so
What about Foursquare? Are you on Foursquare?
no.
You're not? Okay. Good. I think that should be good. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
9. Not Channel 7.
Channel 9? Okay.
Watch Channel 9.
This was not to watch this.
Yay! Okay, what's your first and last name?
Miguel Ramos.
Ramos. Okay, Miguel. So do you check in on Facebook?
I do, just not frequently.
And why don't you do it frequently?
Just sometimes when I don't want others to know where I'm at, then yeah, I
So-
would do
So it is kind of maybe a safety concern?
it. Somewhat. It just depends on who I want to know where I'm at and who I don't want to know where I'm not at.
Yeah, and you know, why the draw though? Why do you check in? Is it just, you know, a form of...
I would say just to let your friends and family like, hey, I've been here and this is what I'm doing, just to let them know. I mean, just, I guess it's a form of showing off a little bit, but...
Is it ever a concern maybe if the wrong people see you at the wrong place, like safety?
I never really thought about it like safety as a concern, but it could be a concern. I mean, if you want somebody not knowing where you're at, that's could hurt you or something. Yeah, it would be a safety concern.
Yeah, that should be good. Anything else you want to add?
How do you feel about like if your friends check you in without you knowing?
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Why do you hate that?
It's just like, oh, I didn't want so and so to know I was with you, or we're doing, we're coming to eat. I told her I was going to church.
Oh, okay. So it's more about getting caught doing something.
Yeah, for me.
Good. That should be good.